Welcome to Food Mavericks 1000. I'm Teddy LaRose. Today we're going to do a little cornbread. It's the season. And I'm going to do a special cornbread today which doesn't have milk or eggs in it for those of you who find that good. Also, it's just some of the most excellent cornbread compared to anything else I've ever had. We used to have really big, enthusiastic yeses on this one when we did conferences. We did it with blue corn. If you can get blue corn, get blue corn. It's really worth it. Okay, it's the usual. We got the corn and the flour and the baking powder, so a little salt in here. It's equal parts corn to flour. I've made it with 2 parts corn to 1 part flour in the past. Works out great. You might want to try it out this way first to give you a sort of kickstart because you've got the leavening ability of the regular flour. Now, some people have cornbread extremely sweet. They call it sweet cornbread. It's sort of a southern deal. This is not going to be very sweet. I'm just going to give it enough of a touch in case there's a little bit of bitterness in the corn, which there can be, and also just sort of round out the whole flavor thing. It looks like it's about 1.5 teaspoons right here. Again, at Food Mavericks, you might not get completely accurate measurements that you can repeat, but if you watch, you'll probably get it in that way. You are free. Okay, now, most cornbread recipes that I've looked at include milk and eggs. And so if they don't, and they're like called vegan, they'll often include soy milk or almond milk, etc. And like, I don't want to. So what I'm going to do is put water. Perhaps as the Indians did in the original cornbread, okay? It's not required that you have milk to make this work. In fact, you really don't. So feel free there to use water. The reason I took it out off the stove is it was ice cold, and I want everything to be approximately the same room temperature just because it makes it easier on everything. Canned pumpkin. Now, you're wondering why canned pumpkin? Well, it's pumpkin season. There's one reason. But another reason is we're not putting eggs in. And so if you don't have eggs, it can be a very nice idea to do something to go in that direction. Now, you don't have to. I've done without. But since I had pumpkin already, I'm going to put 1/4 cup in there. 1/4 cup is around about equal to 1 egg. You could just, if you remember that in the back of your mind, you don't have an egg, you might have this, put it in. And this recipe calls for oil. We used to use ghee, which was fantastic. Could use melted butter. But in this case, oil, which makes it, as you're aware, vegan. This is just a nice organic sunflower oil. Coconut oil would be good too. Okay, see, dry ingredients, wet ingredients. Or just whisk them together. It's going to make a pretty color too. If you had an egg, it'd be kind of a yellow one. And conversely, those of you who do want milk and eggs in this, just replace the water with milk, the pumpkin, with an egg. That easy. Okay, so that's straightforward. Now, the main trick on this guy is, as with most quick breads, you do not want to overmix the wet and dry ingredient thing. So you can go ahead and let it be a little lumpy. No dry stuff floating around in it, but also not completely like whipped up like a cake batter. Oh, look at that beautiful color. Oh, there's baking powder in here. And so what tends to happen when you do this, and the pumpkin would help with this, is it starts to foam. You can hear it. Okay, now this is going to be a slightly on the thicker side, which is, it's a fine thing. You could go a little thinner than that and be fine. So you can practice up on, depends on the corn and how you like the end product. Some people will do a skillet cornbread, and that I think is fascinating. If I had a cast iron skillet, I would do that. So what they do is they heat the oil in a skillet on the stovetop, and then pour the batter into that, and it gets all kind of crispy on the outside, and then you bake it. Fantastic idea. In this case, now see, this is a little on the thick side. So, I think it'll probably turn out great. Now we're going to put it in at a pretty high clip today because we didn't do the skillet thing and I want it a little bit crispy on the outside. So we're going to put it at 400 instead of 350. Pretty, huh? Okay, and then like that. And we'll give it about 25 minutes. We'll give it 25, yeah. Okay. Now then, if it turns out really bad and kind of too dense and we don't like it, you can always make stuffing off it. It's always a maverick around here, guys. Thank you for stopping by. Have fun. Happy holiday.